Don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. Tap the notification bell and be the first to know when we drop a new video. Like and share with your fellow American patriots who love this country. And if you haven't even an American patriot, you are someone who believe and love freedom, love democracy, truth, and don't like corruption, hit the subscription button. Yeah, so I'm going to let you watch some videos. Some things that's happening right now in America on June 10th, 10 p.m. my time. And you're going to see, you can't believe that this is America. At the present moment, America is on fire. The Mexicans whose children were born in America, they are all out war against the American government because of the deportation of the illegal immigrants, and it's spreading. But one of the beauty about it is that black people is staying away, because this is not black people's fight. They are the ones that voted. When we say they are the ones, it's the Spanish people, the same ones that think that they are white. Yes, and they will never be white. The ones who are from Venezuela, Argentina, Cuba, who think that they are white, but they are not white. So Donald Trump is just reminding them that, hey, look here, you might think that you are white and say you are white Hispanic. That is like calling rain a wet rain. And he said that we don't want on a year, so he's deporting them. But the thing is, in California now, is that they're going to schools, and in California is predominantly Mexicans that live in California, because California is bordering Mexico. When I was in the military and stationed in San Diego, you could see the border, Mexico on the next side, and you see the big Mexican flag flying over there. And back then, all you need was just your American ID to go over and come back. You didn't need any passport back then when I was in the military, when I was stationed in California, until they start kidnapping people, Americans, and asking for ransom. And then the US government, they put on the ban on us that you could not travel to Mexico. And guess what? I had never crossed the border. So, I had never crossed the border. So even when people from my command and, Porter, hey, we going over, I'm like, you can go, I ain't going. And they're like, man, come on, we're going to have fun. And I'm like, have fun and just be safe. So I have never been to Mexico. So America is on fire. America on fire. The collision of identity, immigration, and political betrayal. What you are about to witness is not a scene from a foreign war zone or the collapse of a distant dictatorship. No, this is happening right here on American side. The streets of Los Angeles, California, Houston, and other major US cities are erupting in chaos. And the faces of the crowd may surprise you. It's not who the media traditionally villainizes. It's not the African American community. This time it's Mexican Americans. Many of whom were born and raised in the very neighborhoods now engulfed by protest and rage, turning their fury toward law enforcement and federal authorities. Why? Because the reality of American politics has come crashing down on them like a tidal wave of betrayal. During the last presidential election, a surprising number of Hispanic voters, particularly Cubans, Colombians, Venezuelans, and even some Mexican Americans, threw their support behind Donald J. Trump. They believe in his strong rhetoric, his promise of economic reform. That never happened. But people have short memory, and most importantly, his vow to crack down on illegal immigration. When I like Donald Trump, Donald Trump is a man he's been convicted of 34 counts of felony. If a black man had received a traffic ticket and convicted, he couldn't even run for president. But that's how it is, You have to understand white supremacy. And then you have the people on the Supreme Court, U.S. Supreme Court. But hey, look, it's not only third world country corruption, America is the epitome of corruption, The people that rewrite the Constitution, and that's how we get back at Donald Trump. Because you have to understand, in America, racism is the heart of America. That's how American pulse and it beat. But most of the people that voted for Donald Trump, they did not know that what they were voting was against their own interests. And like a few days after he took office, you will see some of them crying, I didn't vote for this. Because he was attacking all facets of the American government. And right now, some of them who vote, they're going to lose their health insurance, some of them lose SNAP. Because majority of the people who are in America on welfare are white people. Because white people are the majority. But guess what? The media don't put it like that. They put it as if it's black people and brown people, and they tell lies. And the immigrants are illegal immigrants. The illegal immigrants, they work harder than anyone in America because they work under the table, but they save their money. Some of them, after a few years, they amass a certain amount of, they just go back to their country because it's better to live in their country than America. So they just come, create a life for, they have children here, and they will leave the children and go back to their country because the money that they have, that they can live off it for the rest of their life. So now Donald Trump is uprooting and many families in America, especially Hispanics. Black people is not feeling the brunt of the ICE raid and stuff like that. But especially if you're traveling out of the country and returning, if you have a green card, you might get some problem when you're coming back. It all depends. But if you're not an American, if you have a green card and you was arrested, even for a traffic ticket, and it all depends, them can just break up a green card and send it back. A green card is not a guarantee, meaning that you can't live in America. So if you have green card, them say don't leave the country. So America is really like a prison right now, especially for people who have green card. They don't know their status because America is operating like a Gestapo, like the Gestapos back in World War II when them wear masks and lock up people. So that's how ICE operating now. Even the police, them face covered and all of this. So they're saying that the police officers that doing all of these law enforcement agents, they are not proud of what they're doing, so they might hide them face because they don't want a repercussion on them family and themselves and been placed on media and you go viral, so they might hide them face. So why this is happening in America? Because the reality of American politics has come crashing down on them like a tidal wave of betrayal. During the last presidential election, as we tell you, the Colombians, the Venezuelans, especially the Venezuelans them, and the Cubans them in a Miami-Dade, South Florida, them up there and President Trump, and we vote for President Trump, and the Cubans them, and I tell you, Donald Trump did deliver because like a few days after, even some of them were, like a woman, she had 2 children born in America, and she's from Cuba. And Donald Trump just send her back, you understand? So the thing is that now, like those who have green card, Cubans who have green card and visit Cuba, Donald Trump doesn't send them back. So they say, no, you don't have no problem there because you go back there. We love Donald Trump for that, you understand? Cubans, they're not like Jamaicans. They were like black people and a whole. Not all of them, some of them. So we say on a whole, black people are normally loved by other race of people. So what is happening right now? It's just the Mexican them and Spanish them out there now. Riots. So the black people are saying, stereotype, this have nothing to do with you because we were telling them all along, so this is what's going to happen, but they never listen. They were jeering and laughing at black people because black people know that Donald Trump is racist 2.0. You have some black people who still believe in him, Just like how you have PMP people where them can't think, them not the critical thinking skills. As me, I know Donald Trump, I know the kind of person he is. You know, I have never met an honest liar in my life, and somebody will have any business and it bankrupt many times. Why would I want to, take chance with them? So right now them say we're bankrupt in America. But look, white people them vote for him and the Spanish. If it was the Spanish people, he would not become president because they are literally in the Spanish along with the black and the other white Democrats would give the Democrats the White House. But you have to understand that racism is more important to these people than policies. Kamala Harris was giving them all kind of thing, but guess what? They don't want a black woman to be them president. They don't want a woman to be them president in America. And worse, there's so many things about the Democratic Party that turn off many people, especially even Jamaicans. Because when you go tell a man, say a man can become woman, them things they turn off people. People say, boy, I would rather that Donald Trump than Uno. Because we're mad people. And then if you go along with them, say them big lie, then them use economic terrorism against you. And that's how it is. And I see him thing even with yours truly challenge. Because you have to understand, so we live in a world that's controlled by liars. And it's just that Donald Trump is one of them. But at least, the only truth where Donald Trump said man can become woman and a woman can become man. You could have tried a little more. You can change science and DNA. And then we're trying all kind of things. If you have all X in a people passport and people have to identify them sex, and man want to go to prison with women and all kind of thing. So him kind of restore sanity. So now the Mexican them and the other Hispanic them vex. But he had told them, reminder, Donald Trump is a man. Donald Trump who said this today and tomorrow him say never say it. I just saw him roll. So you have to understand what people love him. Some people, especially the low IQ people, them, because most of Donald Trump voters, them have a third grade education. If you listen to them, you have to wonder if them people are real. But I just saw it seem like all the people them from my community of Jonestown and Concrete Jungle, third grade education, everything they say they were told, and them easy to get angry. So so people normally get angry easily. Are people who have critical thinking skills and them don't know how to have a discussion and appreciate dissenting voices. Many of them fail to realize that in the eyes of the American establishment, they are not and will never be truly white, regardless of how close they may align themselves with the dominant power structure. Now, in a brutal twist of irony, those same communities are watching as ICE and federal agents raid schools, attend kindergarten graduations, ambush undocumented parents, moments after watching their children cross the stage from California to Florida, including Miami-Dade County, ground zero for Latin American influence in America. The deportations are unfolding with cold precision, backed by recent Supreme Court decisions that give the green light for swift removals. Regrets is sweeping through parts of the Hispanic electorate like wildfire. Some are realizing too late that political allegiance does not translate into racial acceptance. They were seduced by proximity to whiteness, believing that siding with the dominant political force would shield them from the harsh realities of American racial hierarchies. Because say in America, before the Spanish them, overtook the black community, the African American community, it was just the black and the whites, and they had a little racial groups them, but they were nowhere near with the black people. And then the Spanish them, the Democrat them letting the Spanish them in our country, and one thing with them, them ram they have pitney, 10, 15 pitney, You man live in a one room, and I saw them do it, I tell you. And sometimes we have all 40 of them living in a one room apartment. Because when we used to live at West Palm Beach, I tell you, I saw them stay, Yeah man, especially the Guatemala, some look at them short. I tell them, I wish for them buy for them clothes and everything there. Them love the cowboy boot them too, Some look at short people like about 4 feet, But them not consider themselves white because them black. You understand? But them that just the ear them have and them short. Yeah, man. I mean, I tell you, say, yeah, I tell you, so what now? Hey, one thing with them is, through them illegal, them come from Guatemala. Um, so them work hard still, you know. So the thing is that now, so you have a West Palm Beach sheriff. So you have a place in name 441 in a West Palm Beach. Big eight yeah, five lane on each side of the highway for 441. And you have some nice houses down there, so you know. And so a Friday a policeman a driving patrol vehicle in and boy this the Guatemala and them start running up and them chase out and catch one of them. Them illegal, you know. I want to them still I tell you, them illegal. So when the police catch him now, guess why I run? I don't run him around from the police, you know, is that every time when him get paid, the police them rob them. Police, you know, white man, you know. And it start a big investigation and them find the police and lock him up on them thing. And rob them in $1,000, you know. So, you know, I just say it because them can't go a bank. These are people who have money, you know. They got it. No matter them save for them money, you know. And one thing them unite as a people. You understand? All 40 of them live in a one apartment. May I tell you, I don't know how them do it, how them thing, but them do them thing with the little pit, them are all of them. So, but the one them are born here, them are American. You know, so that's you know, that high life with being illegal, and they are mostly targeted because they are from Central and South America, and you know them come in America illegally, and them work for them and some of the white people say that's why them the minimum wage is still flat because them will work for it, because them work all night table and them save. You understand? So yeah, so moving on. Sorry for the digression. So the deportation are unfolding with cold precision. Donald Trump not care about who your mother did vote, who your children vote for and them thing, because these are the people who tell them children, say, oh, vote Trump, and you know, Venezuela and them. So they were here that thing here, TPS. So Trump move it, and all that woman, we soon show later on, we show you a woman down in a Miami-Dade. She said she can't believe that President Trump betray us and all of them things. Donald Trump not in busy about them, because not him run again, because Donald Trump did make him know from day one. Say him racist, him not like Mexican and all them things. Say him a rapist and all them things there. And you know, everything that is bad, him beat them, you understand? Him beat the Mexican them and the Spanish people them and the black people. We black people the most, him hate black people the most. Because right now them are trying to dismantle everything to do with black people. But as usual, you know, so black people always know for preserve them history. Because black people make America great, you know. Yeah, black people. It's on black people back America become the richest country on earth. But yet still black people are still at the bottom. Even the same Spanish people them will come here, them come and them align with the white people, them against black people. So that's why, you know, the black people out there demonstrate with them. And you know, black people I say, no, leave it. Them for them fight, because them not like it. And you're going to hear a black American woman, I tell you, all them people that treat them even worse than white people, all them, you understand? Because them, you know, them call with the N-word too, you know. But yet still, them call them one of the worst name, white people, because the difference now with them and with them and the white community. White people tell them, say, well, at least the black people, them not try to be like you guys. While you guys fight for be white, not white, and them call them a name where I'm not going to call it up. I just spell it SPICK. So if you know what that mean, yeah, that's what I mean. Like a dot. That's how them want to say. Them call them. So, but the truth is chilling in the racial caste system of America. Proximity to whiteness is not the same as belonging. Despite lighter skin or European surnames, you know, the systemic classification is clear. The US government has long known that many of the so-called white ethnic groups were not originally considered white. The Irish, the Italians, and even the Jews were only granted white status in 1962. So hope you learned something from that. So like you have all the governor now in Florida, DeSantis, before 1962, he man nobody in America just like black people, but now him join with the oppressor them. I saw it going. people that were once oppressed, them start oppress our next group of people. You know what them supposed to be? All, you know, make everybody say, boy, all we are one, we are human being. No. So the him attack black people, and I say, boy, black people don't go through nothing during history and them thing there. Yeah, black people learn them benefit from slavery. I never hear nothing like that yet. But we see what go happen, you understand? So them I try to say them can erase black history and what happened in America, and I say, boy, it a cause the kids them to be sympathetic to black people because of the wickedness that white people have done. And the Italians them, the Irish and the Jews is joining with them. Remember I say NAACP, you know, was a farm for black people, you know, the Jew them farm it, you know, and use black people. And everybody, the Irish and the Italian and the Jew, then get the white papers and then them turn around, oppress the black people. So black man have no friends, so that's why you don't trust no one. So them get them white papers in 1962. So I just 63 years ago, these people get them white paper. The same year Jamaican gain independence from Britain. It was a calculated move by the American state to reinforce the rank of whiteness when the white birth rate was in decline. So the reason why them get for them white status down, the white birth rate that decline in America, because you have to understand, you know, say, white people them love them same and them thing there. Because that's why the Supreme Court give them that. Anything where a white man want him get it. The white man want same. If he want donkey, mule him get it. So whilst their birth rate were declining, the black population was increasing. Black people now become this kind of them have a thing on the Planned Parenthood, where the black people them have abortion like wow, kill off them own people because them know if you have sex, unprotected sex, the chance of you getting pregnant. Some of them black women they have all 10-15 abortion, and some of them even when them have children they don't even know who's the father. I have to wonder how them do it. How a woman just lay down with a man and then she have children and she don't know who's the child's father. So these are some of the facets of the black community in America. So now history repeats itself. The majority of Latin American, particularly those from Mexico, Central America and parts of the Caribbean, carry African blood. Whether they acknowledge it or not, the classification system sees them as non-white. So while they may embrace the American dream, align with conservative politics and wrap themselves in the flag, when the time comes, the boot of the state does not differentiate between shades of brown. Because the thing is that now, what the Cubans them do now, them changing them last name, them Sanchez, Enriquez, no, Enriquez is a white name, Hernandez, and all of the Spanish name them. To English name, them a did pull them name in Miami-Dade. To like Johnson, Porter, Brown, Black. They don't want them Spanish name because they want to be white. So that's how them did pull them name now. So when they have children now, they give the children the European name. Because whiteness in America mean purity. I mean that you're part of the hierarchy and you're part of the oppressors. So you can oppress the others. So but that still don't change the shades of brown. So one black American woman captured in now a viral clip say, what many are thinking, thank God it's not us this time. She expressed gratitude that black Americans were not the ones on the front lines clashing with federal agents. That this time it was another demographic facing the consequences of political illusion and racial denial. And the footage that emerging from the street is jaw-dropping. Federal agents in riot gear clashing with them, chasing down families, young men hurling projectiles at armored vehicles, women screaming as their loved ones are ripped from their homes and communities. It doesn't look like America. It looks like a banana republic, a third world nation in the midst of social collapse. Is this the future of America? Well, that's what I say. This is not just about immigration anymore. This is about race, class, identity, and harsh awakening of those who believe that compliance would lead to acceptance. What we are seeing is a reckoning, one that proves that in America whiteness is not just a color, it's a status. And it's not given, it's a sign. And once you are reminded that you never had it, the betrayal burns deeper than any deportation. So stay tuned. The footage you're about to see will shock you. The story you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about race and politics in America. America is on fire right now. So you watch, you listen, and you decide. And we just make you watch them, and then we come and give our conclusion about what is happening in America.
That's why I always say, with ICE and DHS, this is not our fight. Let them do their job. Because if y'all see and hear the things that these people say about America, especially Black America, the things that they say, they talk about our American kids like they are zombies. They act like they not even worth getting a job, going to school, nothing. And I keep trying to tell y'all, they never liked America. They are here to use us for our resources. And I'm glad people that look like me is not out there marching, because the way they talk about us, I saved every clip, I saved every comment, and it's thousands of them. Thousands. And I'm telling you, what they said to me was way worse than what Black or white in America had ever said to me. They even wish me unalive because of ICE. When I ain't got to do with it. The way they talk about the American people is beyond me. Remember, Americans, and I know there's people that's from wherever the ones that talking like that is at, that been here for many years, and I'm sure they agree. This is not our fight. Let ICE do what he do. They made it to the point now I have no sympathy. The way they spoke to me, no sympathy. None. Now I ain't gonna wish it, and I ain't gonna pray for it. But when it happens, it happens. I have no sympathy, because you don't have none for America. How dare you talk like that about our little American kids?
Yeah, so whether or not you want to believe it, it's everything. A Black American paved the way for all immigrants, you know. Yes, that, you know, people can come here, have even babies, and the baby become American, and they're not American. Not any of the parents. America is the only country in the world where people enjoy that kind of privilege, where you can come to America, have your child, you are not American, or the mother or the father, and the child become an American. There's no other country in the world that happened. Britain, no, so that not happening there. So Donald Trump now is going even after that, and guess what? The Supreme Court is going to take it away from them, because you see them people who benefit from it. The Chinese and all of these people, the Indian, the Arabs, them come here, them eat the African Americans, them, and them pave the way for them for the 14th Amendment. No, in the Supreme Court, them are take down that because it's white supremacy. Them see themselves as being the minority in our country, because if it wasn't for the Spanish people that join with the white people, them wouldn't have the power now to deport them. So now them going to make sure that they might take it away from them. They might take away the birthright citizenship from people who come in America and you're illegal, and you can't. Them not going to make that continue. But we see what is going to happen. So these people, everything, you know, have a domino effect. So you watch, you listen, and you decide. So I'm going to watch the other videos.
Pause for a minute and just realize that ICE is just the modern day version of the KKK. Same fear, same message, same tactics. This has never been about immigration. It's about control. Families and children taken from their homes. People snatched off the street. Agents masked up, face covered, no names, no accountability. This is what state-funded racial violence looks like in 2025. Designed to traumatize, to keep Black and brown communities afraid and disempowered. If you're white and still just calling this law enforcement, ask yourself, why does law enforcement always look so different when white people are the ones being protected, not pursued? If this makes you uncomfortable, don't look away. We, as white people, are the only people who can do something about white violence. And white silence is how these systems survive. I hope this helps. White people, can we be honest?
Understand color that they have taught us growing up. You know that, I've said before and I'll say again, I've never seen a white people in all of my life. Period. The people them call themselves white, them said they themselves are colorblind. Because remember, whiteness means pureness, But the thing is that now, with, them say them white, but they are, when I talk about color, because they must say you have different shades of white, and they are nothing near to white. So they are the one that call themselves white, because they want to say them pure. The thing is that with these people who claim to them white, some of them, they own them, like for the first 25 years of them life, some of them look, whether it's a man, or a woman very beautiful, but you see after 25, them have to use Botox and all of them things, and them face just start crack up. Yeah, so them not really have the luxury like the black people and the same Spanish people. Them face start crack up and them hands start shrivel up, and it's like snake, like it about to change its skin. So these are the people, that them have low self-esteem. Same white people, low self-esteem, and most of them depressed because them eat or what them are seeing in the mirror. Them chests and all of these things. That's why you see some of them wear turtleneck. So you're going to watch this video now of a man who was claiming that he was a Marine. So these are the things that were really piss off some of the American people, to see that you're an American, born in America, but yet you are flying another flag. So that's why they must say you have to go back to your country. If you love Mexico so much and you're in America and you're a protest, why do you have a Mexican flag? Flag have power in it, have representation. So you watch, you listen, and you listen.
I'm a Marine, proud to serve, baby.
How long did you serve?
2005.
What do you have to say about President Trump sending
It's
national
not
guard?
right, bro. You know what I mean? This country and this state runs with immigrants. You know what I mean? I'm a son of parents that came from Mexico. You know what I mean? It's not right. It's not right. You could take the criminals away. They want to take hardworking people for, man. That's not cool. Not cool.
You were saying you were a U.S. Marine.
Yeah, so you see the man, telling you that he's an American, but you can't serve two masters. The hypocrisy of flying a foreign flag while claiming to defend America. So you have seen the video, and it's all over on social media too, and it should disturb every single patriotic American. A man standing tall shouting through a megaphone in the streets of Los Angeles, California, claimed to serve in the U.S. Marines for 7 years. 7 years in the military, wearing the uniform of the United States of America, swearing to uphold and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's no small claim. But as he speaks, there's something deeper contradictory. No, disgraceful about the image before us. Because in his hands, instead of a proudly displaying the stars and stripes, the flag he once saluted and pledged allegiance to, he's flying the Mexican flag high above his head. And we are supposed to clap for that. Let's be brutally honest here. If you love America, then why on God's green earth are you waving a flag of another nation in the middle of a protest on American soil? This isn't about heritage. This isn't about cultural pride. This is about optics. This is about allegiance. When you are standing on American street in front of American buildings, demanding American rights and benefits, and you choose to raise the flag of Mexico over your head, it sends one message and one message only. You have already chosen your side. And let's not pretend. The visuals of thousands of protesters wearing Mexican flags across Los Angeles, Chicago and Houston doesn't look like a call for justice. It looks like a symbolic invasion. It paints a picture of conquest, not cooperation. And while these protesters may believe they are asserting identity, what they are really doing is alienating the very country they claim to love. You can't be in America and you wave the Mexican flag during a protest. If Mexico is what you love, if its flag is one that stirs your heart, the one that you raise when you are demanding justice, then go live in Mexico. No one's stopping you. America is not a playground for divided loyalty. You cannot reap the benefits of a nation, its military protection, its infrastructure, its education, its freedom, while publicly pledging your heart to another flag. That is not patriotism. That is opportunism wrapped in a lie. And whether they realize it or not, these protesters are playing right into Donald Trump's hand. Every Mexican flag wave during these demonstrations is like a campaign handed to Trump on a silver platter. He doesn't even have to speak because the protesters are making the argument for him. They are reinforcing every warning he ever gave, every promise he had ever made about border security and national identity. The message Trump has been shouting from rooftop: they don't love this country. They want to change it into one. They fled. And it's now being dramatized on national television for people like this so-called Marine. Let's be clear. True service to the United States means standing with the country, not just when it suits you, but when it challenges you. Carrying the flag of a foreign nation while marching against American law enforcement is not honorable. It's a slap in the face to the very country you claim to have served. You can't serve two flags. You can't love two countries equally when they are at odds. And certainly can't wave a foreign flag while claiming to defend American values. That's not unity. It's confusion. That's not patriotism. It's betrayal. So let's end the delusion. If you love Mexico more than America, then by all means go to Mexico. But if you claim to be an American, act like one. Stand for the flag you swore to protect and stop turning the streets of America into a battleground for foreign allegiance. Because America may be tolerant, but it's not blind. And the reckoning is coming. So these people are giving credence to Trump and Trump's rhetoric. So now Trump will control the narrative. Yeah, that's madness. You can't do that. You can't serve two masters, my brother. So we'll continue the journey.
Bracing tonight after sweeping immigration raids sparked protests and clashes tonight. A U.S. official now confirming to ABC News 700 Marines are now on their way to Los Angeles to join California's National Guard, which was deployed by the president, not that state's governor. Late this afternoon, a peaceful protest after the arrest of a union leader, but the city is bracing for nightfall. It was a far different scene over the weekend. Protesters setting off fireworks right there, police officers right nearby. A line of self-driving vehicles set on fire. Crowd shutting down the 101 freeway downtown. LAPD officers trying to move them off. The moment a U.S.-based correspondent from Australia reporting on the protests, you can see there she's hit by an officer's rubber bullet. President Trump going over the governor's head, sending the state's National Guard to the scene, and tonight he's now sending hundreds of these U.S. Marines. Our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, leading us off tonight on the scene in Los Angeles. Matt is one-on-one with Borders Czar Tom Homan tonight.
Tonight, 700 Marines are on their way to the streets of Los Angeles to assist the National Guard and law enforcement tamp down violent clashes with protesters angry over the Trump administration's immigration policies and arrests. Over the past 72 hours, pockets of LA descending into chaos. Protesters setting cars on fire, dumping bikes and scooters on police cruisers on the highway. Law enforcement firing hundreds of flashbangs and non-lethal projectiles and making dozens of arrests. It got so heated in the streets that a British photographer needed emergency surgery after being struck by a non-lethal projectile.
Moving them on through the...
And there was this moment. Watch as a correspondent for 9 News Australia reporting on the protest when an officer hits her with a rubber pellet. And tonight, an escalating war of words between California Governor Gavin Newsom and Donald Trump. Newsom suing the president for creating the conditions for this chaos when he sidestepped California officials to deploy thousands of National Guard troops.
Are you going to deploy Marines in California?
We hope to have the support of Gavin because Gavin's the big beneficiary as we straighten out his problems. I mean, his state is a mess.
Newsom then slammed by Trump and Border Czar Tom Homan for his response to the unrest. Homan initially suggesting the governor should be arrested, something Trump seemed to support just hours ago.
I would do it if I were Tom. I think it's great. Gavin likes the publicity, but I think it would be a great thing. He's done a terrible job.
Newsom responding again, calling that an unmistakable step toward authoritarianism. I asked Homan about that.
If Gavin Newsom crosses whatever threshold it is and violates the law, do you have the authority to arrest him?
If he broke the laws like any other U.S. citizen, we'll ask the Attorney General to investigate and they'll prosecute. Tom Homan's not going to prosecute.
Spontaneous clashes began Friday as federal agents conducted multiple operations in and around Los Angeles. By Saturday, protests, mostly peaceful, grew larger when agents were seen staging in nearby Paramount, California, and by Sunday, a convoy of heavily armed and camouflaged troops arrived. We watched as the clashes intensified as the day progressed.
Just moments ago, there's some projectiles being thrown. Just moments ago, a motorcycle seemed to try to break through the police skirmish line. And now you can hear those flashbangs going off. Police are trying to push those protesters back, firing those less than lethals at very close range. And you can see those projectiles being thrown over. Now that motorcyclist being hauled in here, looks like he's being arrested.
LAPD's chief overnight saying they may need more help.
We are overwhelmed as far as the number of people out there engaged in this type of activity and the type of things that they're doing.
And thousands today gathering peacefully, calling for the release of a prominent union leader arrested Friday during one of those workplace raids.
A lot of us are American citizens, so then what are we working for? What is the American dream? It doesn't even exist when you're picking people out of the street.
David, just want to give you a sense of where we are. This is the federal building in downtown Los Angeles, and there are probably a couple hundred peaceful protesters here outside. You can see that line of federal agents and California National Guard. Right now, everything is peaceful, but on the other side, there are probably about 100 LAPD in riot gear. Now, Tom Homan telling me that he supports additional troops in downtown Los Angeles, but a short time ago, Governor Gavin Newsom tweeting that the presence of active duty Marines here in Los Angeles is un-American. David.
Matt Gutman leading us off on a Monday night. Matt, thank you.
If you can't serve two masters, so you can't call it peaceful protests when you are attacking the police. Let's set the record straight. You are not a peaceful protester. If your idea of making a statement is to assault law enforcement officers who are simply doing their job, you don't get to burn the house down and then say you came in peace. That's not protest. That's provocation. That's terrorism. Terrorism 2.0. Yes, we understand the current immigration crackdown feels like a gut punch to many. No one is pretending that watching immigration agents pick up undocumented parents outside of kindergarten's graduation is easy to witness. It's a difficult image. Children in caps and gowns, parents hiding in fear, agents waiting outside the school gates. But let's be clear, that does not give you the right to turn violent, to lash out at law enforcement officers who have sworn an oath to uphold the laws of the land. Laws that have been on the books for centuries, decades. If you want to challenge those laws, do so at the ballot box, do so in court, do so in peaceful, organized protests. But don't pretend you are a victim when you are waving a foreign flag while throwing projectiles at American officers. I see, in the beginning you see the video, they must throw the vehicle them. Yes, and them could have shoot them, justifiable homicide. And that's where this situation crosses an even deeper line. Those aren't protests. These are demonstrations saturated in symbolism that's hard to ignore. Mexican flags being waved, not beside but in place of the American flag, in the middle of U.S. cities, doing violent confrontation with federal agents. Let that sink in. You are attacking American officers on American soil with foreign flag in your hands. That's the image alone tells you everything you need to know about how dangerously misplaced some people's loyalty have become. You can't say you love America while waving the flag of another country. And these aren't just protests. These are demonstrations saturated in symbolism that's hard to ignore. Mexican flags being waved, not beside but in place of the American flag, in the middle of US cities during violent confrontation with federal agents. Let that sink in. You're attacking American officers on American soil with foreign flags in your hand. No man, that image alone tells you everything that you need to know about how dangerous and misplaced some people's loyalty have become. You can't say you love America while waving the flag of another country in the middle of a riot. You can't demand American rights while symbolically aligning yourself with another nation. But perhaps the most telling part of all of this, it's who is not participating. African Americans aren't out there in the streets with you. They have been watching quietly, perhaps even silently, because they have been there on the front lines of American justice for centuries. They have been on the front line of American injustice for centuries, trying to get justice. They have fought their hard battles. They have marched, they have bled, they have died, they have been lynched, they have buried their children and swallowed wraiths and tried to build something better from the ashes. And now they are watching other communities spiral into violent delusion and confusion, fueled by a false hope that proximity to whiteness would somehow shield them from the system. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Just because your skin tone is lighter doesn't make you white. America has never accepted people based solely on complexion. It's accept power, loyalty, and assimilation. When you raise a Mexican flag over an American street in defiance of US law, you are declaring that you have chosen not to assimilate. You have chosen confrontation over cooperation. Many in the Latino community who backed Trump during the last election are now stunned by the consequences. They believe that aligning themselves with conservative politics would protect them. What they fail to understand is that Trump's policies were never about race-neutral immigration reform. They were about American identity. And that identity, rightly or wrongly, has always had rigid rules. So now the question becomes, where do your loyalties lies? Because if you claim to love America, then act like it. Show it in your symbols, your behavior, your flag, and your fight. Don't disgrace the same constitution you want to be protected. Don't insult the same system you want to benefit from. And don't attack the same law enforcement officers who would lay down their lives to protect you, regardless of your immigration status. You want peace? Then lead with peace. You want justice? Then demand it with dignity. You want to be accepted in America? Stop waving foreign flags while engaging in violence on US soil. Because if you don't, you are not only undermining your cause, you are handing Donald Trump and every hardline policymaker the visual evidence they need to justify every crackdown that follows. And once again, it will be too late. Because you have lighted the fire and caused the place now to be burnt. You think that they're going to bow to you? No. America is not that kind of country. And they don't care about you because you're not white. If white people out there now want to demonstrate with you, that's a total different thing. But you people had understand before the election, Donald Trump had told you who he was from the first place. But you'd never believe him. Only black people believe him. And some white people. Have yourself a beautiful day.